जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome back to our Chaitanya Charitamrita session. We are now doing fourth chapter of the Antya Lila. Today is verse number 41 onwards. And the title of the chapter is Sanatana Goswami comes to Jagannath Puri, meets Lord Chaitanya at Jagannath Puri. So I
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranams. So I will share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So now we know that Rupa Goswami on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami at the Shashwamedha Ghat. Then Rupa Goswami goes to Vrindavan. Then Mahaprabhu comes to Varanasi. He meets Sanatana Goswami. They had a dialogue for around 2 months. There was a question and answer session. And after that, Mahaprabhu goes to Jagannath Puri via Bengal. And Sanatana Goswami goes to Vrindavan. And by then, Rupa Goswami has left Vrindavan and he's traveling to Jagannath Puri. And on the way at Bengal, his younger brother Anupama leaves his body. And then Rupa Goswami reaches Jagannath Puri and he stays with Haridas Thakur. And Mahaprabhu was giving him continuous association and he glorifies, and we know how the verses written by Rupa Goswami were glorified by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how he introduces Rupa Goswami to all the senior devotees, and how he was and how all the devotees agreed that Rupa Goswami was specially empowered by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like that, Rupa Goswami stays in uh, uh, Jagannath Puri for 10 months, and then he leaves to Vrindavan, because Mahaprabhu's instructions was to establish the temples that were actually gone, means they were hidden in one sense. So Rupa Goswami goes back to Vrindavan, and at that time, our Sanatana Goswami from Vrindavan comes to Jagannath Puri, and now Sanatana Goswami has come via the Jharikanda forest. And in the Jharikanda forest, because of apparently drinking some water which did not suit his health, he had developed some kind of boils in his body, which was oozing pus, and that was giving a very bad smell on the body actually. So Sanatana Goswami was thinking that with this body, I cannot go in between the devotees in Jagannath Puri because I am untouchable that way. And then I think instead of it was very painful and disgusting also for himself. And so he says things that I leave my body when I will go to Puri now, and then when during the Rath Yatra, the Jagannath's cart will be coming, and that huge wheels are there, and below the wheels I'll put my body, and that way I'll be crushed by the Rath, and that way I can leave my body. Like that, he was just thinking. And now he arrives to Jagannath Puri. He arrives to Jagannath Puri, and he also stays with Haridas Thakur. And again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving him association. And in that association, Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatan Goswami that maybe you are aware of also your younger brother Anupama is no more there. And during in that time, Sanatan Goswami is glorifying Anupama, telling that he was actually a Ram Bhakta. And we brothers, Rupa Goswami and myself, were constantly trying to instruct him to take shelter of Lord Krishna. And Anupama was trying also to take shelter of Lord Krishna, but finally one day he says that my heart is completely pulled for Lord Ram. So I cannot leave Lord Ram. So that is the dialogue that is happening right now. So we will continue with that. 441. So we will follow the pattern that 5 shlokas every devotee will read. Unless those purports are really too long, then we can means after sometimes we can somebody else can read, but otherwise we will keep 5 purports, 5 shloka and purports for one particular devotee. Uma Devi Mataji, 441.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम
And
कृपा करी मोरे अपना देह दुई जना जन्मे जन्मे सेवान रघुनाथ तेरा चरणा translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The two of you
what happened?
pardon me in such a way that life after life I may serve the lotus feet of Lord Raghunatha. Text
So this is the dialogue spoken by Anupama or Sri Vallabha.
Pada Padma Chadana
One minute,
Yaya.
1 minute, Mataji. You are able to hear me?
Okay, Mataji.
So this is the dialogue spoken by Anupama or his other name was Sri Vallabha to his brothers Rupa and Sanatan. Yes, Mataji, next one.
Okay, 42.
42.
Raghunatera Pada Padma Chadana Yaya Chadi Bhara Mana Haile Pranapati Yaya. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is impossible for me to give up the lotus feet of Lord Raghunatha. When I even think of giving them up, my heart breaks.
So here Anupama is constantly telling that he is automatically by birth a devotee of Lord Ram. That is, he was an associated of Lord Ramachandra. So that is what he is expressing his heart to his brothers. Next one, Mataji.
Text 43. तबे अमीदुने तारे आलिंगन कैलुन साहुद्रद भक्ति तोमारा कही प्रशंसिलुन
Prashamsilun.
प्रशंसिलुम. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Upon hearing this, we each embraced him and encouraged him by saying, "You are a great saintly devotee, for your determination in devotional service is fixed." In this way, we praised him.
So this has been told by Sanatana Goswami to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with regard to his brother Anupama. Mataji, next one.
Text 44. एवं सेरा उपरे तोमारा हाया कृपा लेशा सकल मंगलता हे कंदे बापा के क्लेशा. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, the family upon which you bestow even a little mercy is always fortunate, for such mercy makes all miseries disappear.
So he was feeling very grateful because Mahaprabhu's mercy was on his entire family in one sense. That is Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, as well as um, Anupama. Last one, Mataji.
Text 45. गोसानी कहे ना ए माता मुरारी गुप्ता पूर्वे आमी परिशीलुन तारा ए रीता. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, There was a similar incident concerning Murari Gupta. Formerly, I examined him and his determination was similar. Hare Krishna
So
Mataji.
Murari
Dandavat
Gupta
Pranam.
was a childhood friend of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and once so Murari Gupta was actually Hanuman, means in his previous birth, because what happens is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibits his Mahaprakash Lila, that time Murari Gupta comes and prays, and he says that time Mahaprabhu tells that you are a Hanuman, you are Hanuman, you are eternal servant of Lord of Lord Ramachandra, and Murari Gupta also agrees with that. So that way, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at this moment was remembering Murari Gupta. Mataji, Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Mataji, Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai, text 46. सेयि भक्त धन्या ये ना चाड़े प्रभु चरणा ये प्रभु धन्या ये ना चाड़े निज जना. Synonyms, translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: Glorious is that devotees who does not give up the shelter of his Lord, and glorious is that Lord who does not abandon his servant.
So this is in regard to Lord Ramchandra and his servants like Anupama and Murari.
Text
Next
47.
Mataji.
दूरैवे सेवकायादि याया अन्यस्थाने सेयि ठाकुरा धन्या तारे चूरे धारियाने. Synonyms, translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. If by chance a servant falls down and goes somewhere else, glorious is that master who captures him and brings him back by the hair.
So this exactly it was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did for Balabhadra Bhattacharya when he had gone to the South India tour, where on the return he had some bad association, and Balabhadra Bhattacharya was kind of deviated. At that time, Mahaprabhu goes and brings him, pulls him by his hair, and comes back. So that is the deep relationship between master and the servant. Next one, Mataji.
Text 48. भाला हाइला तोमारा इहा नाहिला आगमने येई ग्रहे रहा इहा हरिदास साने. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. It is very good that you have arrived here. Now stay in this room with Haridasa Thakura.
So Rupa Goswami also stayed with Haridas Thakur, and here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatana Goswami also to stay with Haridas Thakur. Yes, Mataji.
Text 49. Krishna Bhakti Rase Dunhe Parama Pradhana Krishna Rasa Asvadhana Karalaha Krishna Nama. Synonyms, translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Both of you are expert in understanding the mellows of Lord Krishna's devotional service. Therefore, you should both continue relishing the taste for such activities and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Here both means Haridas Thakur and Sanatana Goswami says that you be in the association of Haridas Thakur, and both of you are so much relishing Krishna's name and glories. So both of you have very good association and relish in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Like that he blesses. Mataji.
Text 50.
Yes.
यत बाली महाप्रभु उदिया चलीला गोविंद द्वाराया दोन्हे प्रसाद पाताइला. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Having said this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and left, and through Govinda, he sent prasadam for them to eat. Haribol Dandavats
It was a
Mataji.
regular routine that Mahaprabhu used to send prasad, that is Jagannath's Mahaprasad, to Siddhabakul. And now in Siddhabakul we have Haridas Thakur and Sanatana Goswami, and so daily they were receiving Jagannath's Mahaprasad. Sudha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम.
Dandavad.
यही मत सनातना रहे प्रभु स्थाने जगन्नाथेर चक्र देखी करे न प्रणाम. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In this way, Sanatan Goswami stayed under the care of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would see the wheel on the pinnacle of the Jagannath temple and offer respectful obeisance.
The wheel on the pinnacle of means the chakra which is on the top of the Jagannath temple. So Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Haridas Thakur, they were apparently considered as Malachas, means they were the topmost of the devotees, but nonetheless in social customs They because Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami served the Nawab Hussain, and Haridas Thakur apparently born in a Yavana family. So by social customs, they were not allowed to enter the Jagannath temple. So daily they used to offer obeisances to the chakra, and nonetheless, Lord Chaitanya, who is none other than Lord Jagannath, used to come and give his darshan directly every single day at Siddhavaka. Next, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am. प्रभु अशी प्रतिदिन मिले न दुई जने इष्ट गोष्ठी कृष्ण कथा कहे कत क्षणे. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Every day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go there to meet these two stalwart devotees and discuss topics of Krishna with them for some time.
So this was a daily routine that Mahaprabhu, after the Upala Bhoga at the Jagannath Mandir, used to come, walk down to Siddhabakul, meet Sanatan Goswami, Haridas Thakur, discuss about Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's glories, about the holy name, and then Mahaprabhu would send prasad through Govinda to these two devotees, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to the sea beach to take his do his noontime duties. Next month.
दिव्य प्रसाद पाए नित्य जगन्नाथ मंदिरे ताहामी नित्यावश्य देना दो हकारे. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The offerings of prasadam in the temple of Lord Jagannatha were of the highest quality. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would bring this prasadam and deliver it to the two devotees.
Next month.
एक दिने अशी प्रभु दुहारे मी लीला सनातने अचंबिते कहिते लागिला. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. One day when the Lord came to meet them, he suddenly began speaking to Sanatan Goswami.
But this was his daily routine. One day suddenly started a particular topic with Sanatan Goswami. Mataji, yes.
सनातन देह त्यागे कृष्ण यदि पाइये कोटि देह क्षणे के तबे छाड़ीते पर ये. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My dear Sanatana, he said, if I could attain Krishna by committing suicide, I would certainly give up millions of bodies without a moment's hesitation. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
So
Krishna.
now what is happening? Sanatan Goswami, while crossing the Jharikanda forest, was had a thought that, oh, I have such a miserable body, so much of disease is there, so much painful, it is so much not even, it was so much obnoxious, and it is not giving pleasure to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was consciously thinking that during the Rath Yatra, I will go and give up my body. Now, the Lord Chaitanya, none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Paramatma, in everybody's heart, understood the thought of Sanatan Goswami. And one day, just by himself, he's saying that if we simply by giving up body attain Krishna, na, then millions of times I would have given up body. You see, is it that simple that just if I give up my body, I'll attain Krishna? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling that if that is there, it's suicide. By suicide, if you attain Krishna, then I would have done so long time back. Like that, he spontaneously says. Swati Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Yeah.
देह त्यागे कृष्णाना पते पाए भजने कृष्ण प्राप्तेरा उपाय कोना नहीं भक्ति विने. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. You should know that one cannot attain Krishna simply by giving up the body. Krishna is attainable by devotional service. There is no other means for attaining him.
It is very important instruction. That is, we can attain Krishna only when we please Krishna. That is possible only by rendering devotional service, loving devotional service, without any offenses, by serving the Vaishnavas and the Supreme Lord. So he says this is the way we attain Krishna prema. It is not just by giving up the body. Next Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. देह त्याग दियत सब कामो धर्म कामो रजो धर्मे कृष्णेर न पाए मर्म. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Acts such as suicide are influenced by the mode of ignorance, and in ignorance and passion one cannot understand who Krishna is. Hare
It is
Krishna.
very important to understand. It is very important for us to be in the mode of goodness as much as possible, because only when we are in the good mode of goodness, there is a idea of understanding something, and then we can transcend ourselves through devotional service, through transcendental position or pure goodness. But in ignorance and passion, when we are doomed in the mode of ignorance and passion, it is very hard to understand anything when it is told about Krishna. So the common populace because they are so much into ignorance and passion, so much when you preach also it just doesn't enter their consciousness, because it is required some amount of goodness to understand the concepts of Krishna consciousness. So he says that thinking about suicide is an act of ignorance, and it does not give any pleasure to Krishna. Next, Mataji.
भक्ति विना कृष्ण काभू न है प्रेमोदय प्रेम विना कृष्ण प्राप्ति अन्य है ते नाया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Unless one discharges devotional service, one cannot awaken one's dormant love for Krishna, and there is no means for attaining him other than awakening that dormant love.
It is very important to awaken the dormant love which is in our core of our heart, and that is possible only when we render Krishna devotional service and when we please the Vaishnavas and Lord Shri Krishna. So that is only possible. That is only the way of attaining Krishna's love, and otherwise there is no other means. Like that Mahaprabhu tells. Yes, Mataji.
न साध्यति माम योगो sorry न साध्यति माम योगो न संख्यम धर्म उद्धव न स्वाध्यायस्तपस्यागो यथा भक्तिर्ममोर्जिता. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna said, "My dear Uddhava, neither through Ashtanga Yoga, the mystic yoga system for controlling the senses, nor through impersonal monism or an analytical study of absolute, nor through study of Vedas, nor through austerities, charity, or acceptance of sannyasa can one satisfies me as much as by developing unalloyed devotional service unto me." Purport: this word from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.14.20.
So this is an extract from the Bhagavatam wherein Lord Krishna is talking to Uddhava that how only unalloyed devotional service is developed only through devotional service and not through simply accepting sannyasa or performing Ashtanga yoga or Dhyana yoga or through study of Vedas. That is not the way of attaining love for Krishna. It is only through by rendering unalloyed devotional service. So that is an extract which Kaviraj Goswami puts here. That is Krishna Uddhava Samvad. Yes, Mataji.
देहत्यागी तमो धर्म पाठक कारण साधक न पायता ते कृष्ण चरण. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Measures like suicide are causes for sin. A devotee never achieves shelter at Krishna's lotus feet by such actions.
This is a very strong instruction by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to all the devotees, to all everybody. Yes, Mataji. Dr. K. Karpagavalli Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. 61. प्रेमी भक्त वियोगी सही देह चलिते प्रेम कृष्ण मेले देहा न पारे मरिते. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Because of feelings of separation from Krishna, an exalted devotee sometimes wants to give up his life. By such ecstatic love, however, one attains the audience of Krishna, and at that time he cannot give up his body.
So, see, now there are two terms. One is giving up the body due to frustration. That is typical an act in the mode of ignorance. There is another thing is that I don't want to because I miss Krishna, 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 and he is so much of deep separation from Krishna that he just wants to leave his body and see Krishna because that is his level, that is in Shuddha Sattva. But at that time, he doesn't have to leave his body. Krishna gives his audience. So in none the case, there is no question of leaving the body. You understood? This is very clear. Next one, Mataji.
62. 62. Gadanura hira gayo gana yaya sahana tati anugrahi vansi apana marana. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. One who is deeply in love with Krishna cannot tolerate separation from the Lord. Therefore, such a devotee always desires his own death.
So, see, when they are in deep separation, that is one more level where devotee thinks that I cannot just stay away from Krishna. And with this material body, it is not possible. to go to Krishna Loka. I have to leave this body to go to Krishna. So that is another level altogether. But at that time, as in the previous verse, Krishna himself gives his audience. Mataji, next one.
Scroll up, Mataji.
Yes.
Text 63, 4.63. Yaskiri Pankaja Raja Snapana Mahato Panchatiyam Yuma Pati Ivatma Tamopahat Yati Yari Ambujaksha Nalabhya Basavat Basadam Jasyam Asun Varta Krishnan Chata Janma Biji Taya. Translation to Prabhupada Kije. Translation purport by Prabhupada Kije. On lotus eyed one, great personalities like Lord Shiva decide to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet to drive away ignorance. If I do not get the mercy of your Lordship, I shall observe works to reduce the duration of my life, and I shall give up bodies for hundreds of births if it is possible to get your mercy in that way. Purport in this verse was spoken by Rukmini Devi in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.53.43. Rukmini Devi, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, had heard about Krishna's transcendental attributes, and thus she decided to get Krishna as her husband. Unfortunately, her elder brother Rukmi was envious of Krishna and therefore wanted her to be offered to Sisupala. When Rukmini became aware of this, she was greatly aggrieved. Thus she wrote Krishna a confidential letter which was presented and read to him by Brahmana messenger. This verse appeared in that letter. Thank you, ma'am.
So we all know the story how Rukmini had sent a letter because her marriage was fixed with Shishupala and against her will, and so she had sent a letter through a Brahmana to Lord Krishna, and then how Krishna comes and rescues Rukmini and the war, all that story we know. So this verse appears in that particular letter where she says that like Lord Shiva also desired to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet because to drive away ignorance. So I need to get your mercy. If I don't, I will give up my body, because hundreds times I'll just give up my body because I continuously need your association. So this is a highest level of bhakta who is thinking like this. It is not out of frustration, where apparently now Sanatan Goswami was very frustrated with his diseased body, so he was thinking of giving up his body. But this is a quote where in transcendental mood devotees expect to give up their body.
Next one.
Next one only 1 minute happening. Yeah. Yes.
Text 54. Sinchanga Naslatva. Mataji, can you read Mataji?
Sinjanganastvat adharamrita purakena. You read the translation, Mataji. No problem.
Yes, okay, thank you. Translation. O dear Krishna, by your smiling glances and melodious talk, you have awakened a fire of lusty desire in our hearts. Now you should extinguish that fire with a stream of nectar from your lips by kissing us. Kindly do this. Otherwise, dear friend, the fire within our hearts will burn our bodies to ashes because of separation from you. Thus, by meditation, we shall claim shelter at your lotus.
What happened? Mataji is lost or I am lost? Yeah. Perfect.
Bhagavatam 10.29.35 was spoken by the gopis when they were attracted by the vibration of Krishna's flute in the moonlight of autumn. All of them, being maddened, came to Krishna, but to increase the ecstatic love, Krishna gave them moral instructions to return home. The gopis did not care for these instructions. They wanted to be kissed by Krishna, or they had come there with lusty desires to dance with him.
So these are all the examples from the Bhagavatam. That was Rukmini's thoughts, and here the gopis' thoughts. The point is, transcendental devotees, how they desire so much for the lotus feet of Lord Krishna for his association, and in that way they don't want to live in their body. So, Kaviraj Goswami, he gives that how it is different from being trying to give up one's own body, give away one's body due to frustration. And what is transcendental understanding, or what is the transcendental level of trying to be associated with Krishna constantly? Yes, Mataji.
65. Kubudicadiyakara Savana Kitana Ashirasa Tabe Krishnari Charana. Translation by Prabhupada Kibe. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, give up all your nonsensical desires, for they are unfavorable for getting shelter at your lotus feet. Shelter of Krishna without a doubt.
So he says that, see, this is nonsense. So he directly tells. Now, previously he told indirectly that by committing suicide we cannot get Krishna's lotus feet. Now directly he says that give up your nonsensical thought of giving up this body. Simply engage yourself in chanting and hearing, and soon you will attain shelter of Krishna without any doubt. So like that he tells to Sanatana Goswami very directly. Radhika Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Radhika Mataji is there? Okay. Maybe she can read later, and Padma Mataji, you start now.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, Radhika Mataji, yes.
Sorry, Hare Krishna. Nicha jati nahe Krishna bhajane ayogya, satukula vipra nahe bhajane rayogya. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. By Srila Prabhupada, Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thanks. A person born in a low family is not unfit for discharging devotional service to Lord Krishna, nor is one fit for devotional service simply because he is born in an aristocratic family of Brahmanas.
So birth does not decide one's right for devotional service. So he says that it is not the question of birth, where you are born. If you are Brahmana, then you are already fit. And if you are not born in a Brahmana family, you are not fit. Apparently, Sanatana Goswami, they were Brahmana family only. They were born and they had served the Muslim king. So they socially, they were outcast. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that does not matter at all. It is not through external reasons that one gets the shelter of Krishna, one engages himself in devotional service to Krishna. It is not about any external factors or social status. Mataji, next one. Mataji.
Ye baje se bada bata hina chara Krishna bhajate nahi jati kuladi bichara. Anyone who takes to devotional service in exalted, whereas a non-devotee is always condemned and abominable. Therefore, in the discharge of devotional service of the Lord, there is no consideration of the status of one's family. There is
absolutely, there is no consideration. Anybody from anywhere to any sex or any caste or any situation, any country, anybody, everybody has the complete rights to execute devotional service for Lord Krishna. Krishna does not distinguish whoever they are. So he is just, anybody can render devotional service in any situation. That is the glory of devotional service. Mataji, next one.
Diniradika daya kare Bhagavan Kulina Pandita Damira Bada Abhimana. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Lord Krishna is always favorable to the humble and meek, but aristocrats, learned scholars, and the wealthy are always proud of their position.
So the only criteria is Sranadapi Sunichana Tharoreva Sajna. Be humble and meek, and humble like a blade of grass and tolerant like a tree. Only that is the only qualification. And those who are aristocrats, they are naturally and automatically, unfortunately proud. And that time devotional service they cannot render heartily. They cannot sincerely serve the Supreme Lord. So he says the only qualification is sincerity and being humble and meek. That is the only qualification. And if we have anybody, we are able, we are allowed, or we can render devotional service to Supreme Lord. Next one, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. विप्राद्विसद्गुणयुतादरविन्दनाभा पादारविन्दा विमुखात् स्वपचं वरिष्ठां मन्ये तदर्पिता मनोवचे निहितार्था प्राणं पुनीयाति सकुलं नातु भूरिमानः. Translation. One may be born in the Brahmana family, have all 12 Brahminical qualities, but if one, in spite of being qualified, he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Krishna, who has a navel-shaped lotus. He is not as good as Chandala, who has directed his mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the service of Lord Krishna. Simply to take birth in a Brahmana family or to have Brahminical qualities is not sufficient. One must be a pure devotee of the Lord. Thus, if a Swapacha or a Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself but his entire family as well. Whereas a Brahmana who is not a devotee but simply has Brahminical qualities cannot even purify himself. What to speak of this family? Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.10. Hare Krishna.
So these are all the verses which extracts, which highlight the glory of devotional service. That is, one who has a low birth apparently, when he renders devotional service, all he as well as all his family lineage gets liberated, or they get love of Krishna, and he is able to deliver them. But who is born in a very aristocratic Brahmana family, but if he is not rendering any devotional service, it is absolutely of no use. It is very much on the material platform. Mataji, next one.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Bhajane Ramadya Shrita Navavida Bhakti Krishna Prema Krishna Dita Dare Mahashakti. Hare Krishna. Translation. Among the ways of execution of devotional service, the 9 prescribed methods are the best. For these processes have great potency to deliver Krishna and aesthetic love for him. 9 kinds of devotional service are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. These 9 are hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna, offering service to Krishna's lotus feet, offering worship to the temple, offering prayers, working as a servant, making friendship with Krishna, and unreservedly surrendering to Krishna. These 9 processes of devotional service can grant one Krishna an aesthetic love for him. In the beginning, one has to discharge devotional service according to the regulative principles, but gradually, as devotional service becomes one's life and soul, one achieves the most exalted position of aesthetic love for Krishna. Ultimately, Krishna is the goal of life. One need not have taken birth in the aristocratic Brahminic family to attain the lotus feet of Krishna, nor is a position born in a low family unfit for achieving Krishna's lotus feet. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Devahuti says to Kapila Dev, Aho bata swapachato gaririya yajavagre vartate namatupyam te pustapaste juhu shashnurarya brahmanuchurnama grihanti ete. Oh my Lord, even a person born in a low family of dog eaters is glorious if he always chants the holy name of Lord. Such a person has already performed all types of austerities, penances, and Vedic sacrifices. He has already bathed in the sacred rivers and has also studied all the Vedic literatures. Thus, he has become an exalted personality. Similarly, Kunti Deva says to Lord Krishna, Janmaishwarya Shuta Shrivi Edamanamadakpuman Nevahatyabivatum vai Twamakinchana Gocharam. A person who is proud of his birth, opulence, knowledge, and beauty cannot achieve your lotus feet. You are available only to the humble and meek, not to the proud. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah, so these are all the different excerpts from the Bhagavatam, which emphasizes the fact that how devotional service is completely independent. It is not dependent on any social status. It is only on the qualification. That is, he need to be sincere, humble, and meek. This is the only qualification. And also, the devotional service can be performed in different ways. That is the Navavida Bhakti. That is starting from Shravanam Kirtanam, which has been mentioned here by Prabhupada. And by perfecting oneself in either one or many of the Navavida Bhaktis, one can attain pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. And then the next one is that how apparently born in a low family, like For example, we had the glories of Haridas Thakura. He was not born in apparently a Brahmana family, but nonetheless, by constantly chanting the holy names of Krishna, is much, 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 much more, and he has attained the transcendental love and mercy of the Supreme Lord. And then Kunti Devi says that just that, not that, and just in case somebody is born in a very rich family and he is born in a very aristocratic family or a very intelligent, he may be, but that if it is not used in the proper way, it could be a blocking, it could be a blockage for one's pure devotional service, because unfortunately, naturally, these high positions, high intelligence or high beauty or high family parentage, they bring one person, makes a person very proud. And if pride develops in the heart of somebody, then he cannot sincerely render devotional service, and that becomes an obstacle to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So if these, so it does not mean that one should not be Janmaishwarya, Shruta and Shribi. It is not like that, but one should be conscious of the fact that he cannot be proud about these things and should be doubted in Krishna's service. That time he can be saved from being proud, and he can actually automatically be in the mood of the servant of the Lord. And it is very important that time to be in always the right association. Otherwise, unfortunately, this material world carries over, and he is automatically directed. He is naturally or unknowingly, that person becomes proud, and that becomes an obstacle. So these are the different extracts from the Bhagavatam to emphasize the point that how devotional service is actually does not need anything. It's only one sincerity that is required to perform devotional service. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. तारामध्ये सर्वश्रेष्ठ नाम संकीर्तन निरापराधे नाम लैले पाया प्रेमधन. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Of the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is to always chant the holy name of the Lord. If one does so, avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses, one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. Purport. Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu gives the following directions in his Bhakti Sandarbha 270.
Mataji, you read the English. You can read only
yeah,
that.
Okay. Chanting the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of Godhead. This chanting of devotional service does not depend on any paraphernalia, nor on one's having taken birth in good family. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. Therefore, if one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in this age of Kali. This is the that is the fulfillment of all great sacrifices, penances, and austerities. Because when one achieves ecstatic love of Godhead, he attains the complete perfection of life. Therefore, whatever one does in executing devotional service must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, has been praised by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Namaskara verse 1. Nikila Shruti Mauli Ratnamala Beauty Nirajita Pada Pankajanta.
You should more loud, Mataji.
Yeah. Ai Mukta Kuler Upasyamanam Parita Swam Harinama Samshrayami. O Harinama, the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly being worshipped by the glowing radiance emanating from the strings of gems known as the Upanishads, the crown jewels of all the Vedas. You are eternally adored by liberated souls such as Narada and Sukadeva. O Harinama, I take complete shelter of you. Similarly, Srila Sanatana Goswami has praised the chanting of the holy name as follows in his Brihad Bhagavatam, part 1, chapter 1, verse 9.
You can read the English, Mataji. English, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. All glories to the all blissful holy name of Sri Krishna, which causes the devotees to give up all conventional religious duties, meditating on meditation and worship. When someone or other uttered even once by living entity, the holy name awards him liberation. The holy name of Krishna is the highest nectar. It is my very life and my only treasure. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.11 Sukadeva Goswami says, Etan nirvidya
English.
mananam ichatam.
English, Mataji.
Okay, in constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is a doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires. Those who are desirous of all material enjoyment. 6.3.22 Yamaraj says, Etamameva lokesmin pumsan dharma parasmita bhakti yogo bhagavati tanama vrana nibi. Devotional service beginning with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the ultimate religious principle for the living entity in human society. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said in his Shiksha Astakam, Pranadapi Sunichena Tarodapi Saishna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Regarding the 10 obeisances in chanting the holy name, one may refer to Adi Lila, chapter 8, verse 24.
So here, the previous verse it was told that Navavida Bhakti, and by doing following the Navavida Bhakti one or in many ways, we can achieve the lotus feet. So in the primary of that is Kirtan, chanting of the holy name. That is what is highlighted here, and the glories of chanting or the glories of Harinama in different Puranas and Vedas and in the Srimad Bhagavatam has been highlighted here to emphasize on the glories of Harinam. And then last one, what Ranarapi says is the mood of the chanter should be to be more tolerant than to be like a humble like a blade of grass and more tolerant and than a tree. That is the way of attaining the attention and love of Lord Krishna. In that mood, when one chants the holy name of Krishna, that is the time, that is the real way of attaining love for the Supreme Lord or perfection of devotional service. So that has been highlighted here, telling that Navavida Bhakti is there, of which chanting of the holy name stands in the forefront. Yes, Mataji, Padma Mataji. Next one.
Text 72. Etasun ni sanatanera haila chamatkara Prabhu re nabhaya mora marana vichara. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. After hearing this, Sanatana Goswami was exceedingly astonished. He could understand my decision to commit suicide has not been greatly appreciated by Sri Chaitanya
Now
Mahaprabhu.
Sanatana Goswami understood the core from my heart, that thought from the root. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just plugged it and he has thrown it out. That with the thought only, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with different examples and explanations, he removed it from the core of the heart of Chaitanya Sanatana Goswami, that suicide is not the solution. You cannot think of it. Mataji, next one.
Text 73. Sarvajana Mahaprabhu Nisidila More Prabhu Rajarana Dari Sayena Tanare. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sanatana Goswami concluded, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who knows everything, past, present, and future, has forbidden me to commit suicide. He then fell down, touching the lotus feet of the Lord, and spoke to him as follows.
So immediately Sanatana Goswami falls at the lotus feet of Krishna, because lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he understood that Mahaprabhu is not allowing me to have this thought in my heart. He clearly understood that. Mataji, next one.
74. Sarvajna Kripalu Tumi Ishwara Swatantra Yaiche Nachao Taiche Nachi Yena Shata Yantra. Translation by Prabhupada. My Lord, you are the omniscient, merciful, independent, supreme Lord. Exactly like an instrument of wood, I dance as you make me do so.
So he agrees to Lord Chaitanya that I am your puppet. You make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. Do whatever you like. I am ready. Similar was the mood of Lord of our Srila Prabhupada when he went to via Jaladuta to the American countries, and he did not know what next to do. Then he just surrendered himself to the Supreme Lord. And he says that he writes a poem where he says that Nachao, Nachao, I am your puppet in your hand. Do as you like. Do as you like. You are the doer, and I'm just the karta. I'm just acting according to your desire, like that. Mataji, next one.
Okay, text 75. Necha adama pamara muni pamara swabhava mora jiya ile tumhara kiba belaba. Translates my Shrapova Sabhavakite. I'm low born indeed. I'm the lowest. I'm condemned. For I have all the characteristics of a sinful man. If you keep me alive, what will be the profit?
So Sanatan
Thank you,
Goswami is
Mataji.
like you are making me, you're telling me that I should not commit suicide, but I don't have any qualification. What's the point of me being alive? What will you gain by me being alive? Like that he asks Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Uma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु कहे तुम्हारा देहा मोरा निज धना तुम्ही मोरे करियाचे आत्म समर्पणा. Translation by Prabhupada Jai. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, your body is my property. You have already surrendered unto me. Therefore, you are no longer have any claim to your body.
So that is the greatest position which Sanatan Goswami has received as a devotee, because at Varanasi, Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatan Goswami, and then Sanatan Goswami completely surrenders himself to Lord Chaitanya. And then Lord Chaitanya is telling that through your body, I have so many things to achieve in this world. So you don't think that it is your body. You cannot claim that is mine. That is, you have surrendered to me. So allow me to do whatever I want to do with your body. So that is their relationship they have with each other. That is the perfection of a devotee. Yes, Mataji.
Text 77.
Yeah.
Parera davya tumi kena chaha vinasite dharma dharma vichara kiva napara karite. Translation by Prabhupada Jai. Why should you want to destroy another's property? Can't you consider what is the right and wrong?
So he's like, if we have somebody else's property, we cannot think of destroying somebody else's property, you know. So that is wrong. So he's like, your body is my property. How can you think of destroying something which is mine? So like that he tells to Sanatan Goswami.
Text 78. तुम्हारा शरीरा मोरा प्रधान साधना हे शरीरे साधिमो अमी बहु प्रयोजना. Translation by Prabhupada Jai. Your body is my principal instrument for executing many necessary functions. By your body I shall carry out many tasks.
So there is a lot of project that has to be done using your body. So don't give up your body. Like that Mahaprabhu says. Next one, Mataji.
Text 79. Bhakta Bhakti Krishna Prema Tatvera Niradhara Vaishnavera Nirdhara Vaishnavera Krityara Vaishnava Achara. Translation by Prabhupada. You shall have to ascertain the basic principles of devotional service, love of God, Vaishnava duties and Vaishnava characteristics.
So these are the things which is like an assignment to Sanatan Goswami. Who am I? What that we know that who am I? What is the relationship between me and the Supreme Lord? And what is the ultimate good? So prayojana, all those things. We had learned how in Sanatana Siksha, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatan Goswami there was the discussion. So he says that who is the devotee? What is devotional service? What is love of God? That is devotee, sadhya, sadhana, and prayojana. These are the three levels of bhakti. First of all, who am I? What is my relationship with the Lord? How to establish that relation? That is through devotional service. And what is the ultimate goal? That is love of God. These three things. And what is Vaishnava duties? What is Vaishnava characteristics? Who is a Vaishnava? What is the lakshana of all these things you need to establish properly and give it to the world. So I need your body. Through your body, you are going to establish all these things. So don't destroy your body like that. Mahaprabhu tells. Yes, Mataji, next one.
Text 80. Krishna Bhakti Krishna Prema Seva Pravatana Lupta Tita Uddhara Ara Vairagya Shikshana. Translation.
Some more things. Yeah. Yes.
Mataji?
Yes, read.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji. You will also have to explain Krishna's devotional service, establish centers for cultivation of love of Krishna, excavate lost places of pilgrimage, and teach people how to adopt the renounced order.
So you have
Hare Krishna.
so many things in your list to do. And so because Sanatan Goswami says, no, I am low birth, what is the profit? What is the benefit of me being alive? So Mahaprabhu says that your body is my property, it is not your property, and I need to establish so many things using your body. You have so much of tasks to do, so don't ever think of giving up your body. And he lists the task. That time he said devotee, devotional service, Krishna Prema, and Vaishnava Achara, Vaishnava characteristics. And now he says that there are so many lupta, so many places of pilgrimage have been lost. So re-establish them and teach people how to adopt the renounced order, what is real renounced order, what is meaning of renunciation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives him a tasks. These are the things which we had discussed before and which you are supposed to do. So please do not give up your body. So with that, we stop here. Thank you very much. Granthra Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटि वैष्णववृन्द की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद। हरि बोल।
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji. Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.